Everyone, welcome to a first ride review. I have now done it. I have been part of not ever owning a Honda motorcycle, so here we go. This bike is going to replace my KTM 890 Adventure that I sold just a couple weeks ago. And this is the first ride right at home from dealer. Never test rode one of these. Hope this goes well. But this is a bike that I want to do. Mid-Atlantic BDRs, Smoky Mountain 500, and I've never really ridden off-road except for rode to KTM a couple times. And wow. Oh, kind of hard to get on. Anyways, but your eyes don't deceive you. This is a 300 LS, not a 300L. The S is meaning short. This bike has a little less suspension travel than your standard 300L, and it also has a reduced seat height. I think the seat foam may be a little thinner, but this is not going to be fun to get on this traffic at all. It's July 3rd, so there's tons of traffic. It's right at 5 o'clock, so this might not seem the greatest of idea, but whatever. But like I said, this bike is meant to replace my KTM 890 Adventure. This bike is just a little over 300 pounds, 24 horsepower, but the LS version does come in only the ABS model, actually, instead of like the other ones that are you can get the ABS and non-ABS model. I'm probably gonna have to cut some of this first part video this out. This is kind of unfortunate, but I'm gonna cut here. Setting off for the bike first time. Bike feels definitely super light compared to what I'm used to. My KTM was almost 500 pounds, 480. This is like 310. To me, I've sat on a Grom at a dealership. To me, someone said it best in a video I watched not long ago. This really feels like a bigger brother to the Grom, to be honest. The seating position is super upright. I'm 5'10" tall with a 32-inch inseam. On this bike, that's what it appeals to other people as. It only has a seat height of like 34 inches even, which is pretty low. The regular 300 Rally is a seat height of like 36 inches. So yeah, it's a more of a budget dual sport, but it's a Honda. I thought it was worth taking the risk, even though I've never test rode one. Dealers get these in, and most of the time you don't see them on the floor, and within a week or two they're gone, and it takes a month or two to get another one in. This bike, when it first came out in 2021 following COVID, was a waiting list of like 6 or 8 months. But so far, yes, the bike isn't the fastest thing in the world, but I'm in 6th gear doing 47 miles an hour with the lovely brake hose that everybody likes about. And I can see why, because it literally goes diagonal across the dash, which is great, but that's easily remedied. And no, don't put a zip tie like some people do. But the bike feels fine. It feels a little twitchy and a little weird. You definitely want to have a light handlebar grip on this and don't fight it. But I think off-road riding, this thing, for what I bought it for, it's going to be an absolute dream. It's going to be light. It's going to be easy to handle. I'm going to get used to it. We've now got 2 miles on it. But I really like it. It's good value for money. It's a Honda. If I'm being honest, when I bought the KLR 650, the 2022 I believe it was, I probably should have bought this to begin with, because if you've never really done any off-road riding, then you should probably start with something like this, I think. And you could ride it for a year or two, and then upgrade to something a little bigger, to like a 400 or 650. But the reason why I really didn't get a 650, like DR 650 or like a DRZ 400, is I'm not knocking the Suzuki bikes at all. They make great machines. Those bikes have been unchanged for a long time, which means The aftermarket is huge, but they're still carbureted. They still don't have ABS brakes front or rear. They have nothing. They have a abysmal dash. Of course, this bike, other than having ABS and fuel injection, doesn't really have any features. But you can cut ABS off only on the rear with that button right here, if you didn't know that. But not all 300 rallies have that. This is the LS, like I said, which is a different paint scheme. It has a black flame, a black swing arm, and this different colorway, which I really dig. I'm a big UT Raw fan, so anything with orange on it appeals to me. Hence why my KLR 650 that I had, well, I bought the orange one because I liked it. And so far, this bike, you know, it's just perfect. This would make a really great commuter too for someone who wanted to start off-road riding and a new rider. There's nothing intimidating about it. It feels kind of small, but I don't. But you know, I'm used to bigger bikes like my KTM 890 and the KLR 650, which was, you know, more of a, for lack of a better term, a more of a full-size motorcycle. And while this doesn't feel small, it doesn't feel full-size, if that makes sense. And you know, of course, I'm going to need to break the motor in, so I'm kind of babying it at 4,000 revs. Probably should be in like fourth, but I'm trying to be easy on it that first, like, at least 100 miles anyway. And after that, you know, the motor's broke in. Yes, you shouldn't do whatever until above 600 miles to after change of oil, but like I already said, it's a Honda. They're really, you know, made to last, made to run forever. And like literally sitting on it, like a red light, you can probably see no adventure boots, street boots on, and I'm flat footing it, and I could stand up off the seat with almost with my feet still flat footed. First gear is very low though. I see why now some of the people have CRFs that they say the CRF-L people, that first gear is just about unusable, which it's good for a trail because like they do like 15 miles an hour, like about halfway at the power band, about 5,000. But this is a great little bike. It's probably not the best for on-road riding, if I'm being honest, but I didn't buy it for that. This is my second bike. I already have a 2016 Yamaha FJR 1300 in the garage, which I just got done taking a trip on to the Taylor Dragon the first time, which was kind of fun. I didn't record any of that though, sadly, because there's a gazillion YouTube videos on people on the Dragon, and it's not really anything that special, I think. But I just thought that this bike would be a good try, and so far I'm liking it. I think, you know, like I said, this is a perfect second bike, or maybe someone who's never ridden off-road before, but I don't think this is necessarily, maybe not a great first bike, but it could potentially be, you know, especially if you don't even think about getting on the interstate, although this bike will do supposedly 75 to 80, but it's tapped out and wide open at that point. But if you bought this bike to take a 4 or 5 hour ride on an interstate, probably bought the wrong bike. But, you know, on 4 lanes like this, doing 50, 55, 60, it's fine. Like I said, it does feel a little bit twitchy in the bars, like it doesn't take much bar input to move it. So you really don't, like, it feels like to me that you really don't have to counter steer this bike to make it turn hardly at all. It's just so lightweight. You can pretty much lean it. You know, there's no wind protection. You know, the Rally might have been a better choice for some, but the Rally has so many plastics on it to take apart and do maintenance on, and add accessories to. Then if you put crash bars on it, then to do other modifications, like maybe add something to the bike. There's a lot, like maybe something in the wiring harness. Then there's a bunch of stuff you have to take off for that, and it's just. And the headlight thing with the asymmetrical headlight like this, they're not bad motorcycles. I'm sure there's a lot of people that like them, but this is like $1,200 cheaper for one of these instead of those. Yes, the Rally has a little more, you know, in the gas tank department, a little more suspension travel, but this still has like 9 inches suspension travel, and I think about 8.5, 9 inches of ground clearance, so it's perfectly off-road capable. But these stock mirrors look like, I don't know, eyebrows that are raised up while sitting on it, and I can't see hardly anything on either one of them. But you know, so far so good. Mile 6 on the bike. Probably not really going to enjoy this 4-lane ride home until I get used to it, because it does feel like a lot of people say at 65 or 70 you're getting blown around everywhere, and at 45 it kind of already feels that way to me. But you know, I'm used to bigger, heavier bikes. My FJR weighs 645 pounds, and that thing, you could just about go to sleep on it on a 4-lane like this, and it really wouldn't bother. So it is, you know, something to get used to, which is not a terrible thing, but I am gonna have to get used to it. I bought it now, you know, sold to KTM, bought this, so now this is what I got. So I'm just gonna have to get used to it. And you know, if that's the only fault, you know, that the bike feels a little twitchy at interstate speeds a little bit, you know, then I think that's pretty good. I'm trying to adjust these mirrors while I'm at a stoplight, maybe. Okay, that's better. That one's a little better, but neither one of them are great, so whatever. But yeah, running, you can't hardly even hear it. Like I said, to get going, you're gonna have to wind it out a little bit to get out of the way and keep up with traffic. But you know, all is well. I'm gonna just chill here about 50-ish and let people go around and not be really hard on the motor at first, because you know, we're at 50 miles an hour. I'm trying to see the tack here. I love with the lovely brake line right through it, but you know, 50 miles an hour doesn't feel too bad. You know, the road that I commute back and forth to work, I do about 55 on in my car, so you know, to be easy on it first, 50, 55, not that big of a deal, but it is going to take a little bit used to. But like I said, just light pressure on the bars. Some people may even say that, you know, the tires are making it do this, because my KTM had Trail Max Rally Raids on it, which were somewhat aggressive that I put on, but this is more of a knobby, so maybe that's what makes it feel more that way to me. I don't know. I'm not really 100% sure. I'm just trying to be pretty easy on the bike on its first ride and get home, not only me in one piece, but the bike also. But I have been riding with this, and I'm going to do a video on this soon. This may not even make the video. I have been riding with this Alpinestars Tech 5 airbag vest, which I'm currently wearing, which I'm pretty glad right now, because this seems a little sketchy. But the Tech 5 airbag vest, it is quite a bit hotter in the summertime heat, but I think the safety is worth the you know, the negative of it being hotter. I would much rather, I'm one of these people that would much rather worry about being uncomfortable and being more safety instead. But you know, like I said, so far, let's see how this bike does on that. I can't even hardly tell it bumps there. So you know, like I said, it ought to be good at off-road riding. This is kind of what these bikes are made for. I'm sure the 300 Rally doesn't feel much different than this, other than, you know, having some actual wind protection, but it doesn't seem terrible. Like I said, this is probably not the best choice for a road bike, but I bought this to learn off-road riding, and I think it'll be easier for me on that, and I just have to get used to it. But other than that, it's fine. I don't think really it's the wind that's hitting me that's making me so much uncomfortable. I think I just you know, I've got a light grip on the bars, but I think I'm fairly like leaning on the bars, where maybe I need to grip the tank more and not push on my palms. I think that's maybe what's doing it. But you know, maybe once the tires get scrubbed in a little bit more, maybe it won't be as bad, and I'll get used to it. But it's not a windy day, so I don't think that's really what's doing it. I'm just gonna kind of creep up to where I'm supposed to be. So far on the miles per gallon thing, it says it's getting 75.6. I tried to reset that at the dealer, but I don't know. if I did or not, because I didn't really read the menu. I just kind of like, oh, what's this do? But, you know, bike feels fine. Like I said, I wouldn't want, you know, to jump out on the interstate with it, but it seems fine. It does have a little bit of heat if I squeeze my legs in my tank, coming off that right side, which is the radiator side, which probably makes sense, getting hot air out the radiator. My KLR was the same way. One side was much hotter than the other, because that's the side the radiator was on. But, you know, bike's pretty stable, you know, like I said, other than feeling light. But we're going to take it easy and have fun and enjoy the ride home. But on that, guys, if you've not already done so, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to answer any first ride questions I can if I did not cover anything. This is kind of more, not of a spec first ride. It was really just a first ride. Like, this is what the bike is like. First impressions. You know, this is not a press bike. This is not a loaner bike from Honda. This is my bike that I bought with my own money. And so far, I really like it. Like I said, other than taking a little bit used to, a little bit of lightweight, it's pretty good. Like the motor at 5,000 RPMs at 50 miles an hour, it's a slight bit of buzz, but not much. But, you know, of course, the pegs don't have any rubber in them. They're solid pegs that are pretty beefy and have a pretty good, pretty amount of bigger claw to them. But on that, guys, I'm going to enjoy the rest of the ride home. If you've not already done so, like I said, like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. Ride safe and have fun. We'll see you on the next one. See ya.